What if I told you that the cleanest homes in the world belong to people who actually clean less than you do? I know, that sounds completely backwards, but stay with me for a second, because what I'm about to share with you completely changed the way I think about cleaning my house. And it might just change yours too. Japanese women have a secret, and it's not a fancy mop. It's not some expensive cleaning product you can order online. It's not even a robot vacuum, although, yes, some of them do have those too. The secret is a philosophy, a way of thinking about your home, your time, and your stuff that makes cleaning almost unnecessary. Now I know what you're thinking. That's easy to say when you live in a tiny Japanese apartment. But here's the thing, these habits work in a 3-bedroom house in Ohio just as well as they work in a 500-square-foot apartment in Tokyo. And I'm going to prove it to you today. I'm going to walk you through the actual habits that Japanese homemakers use. Not to clean better, but to almost never have to clean at all. These are the routines, the mindsets, and the tiny daily actions that keep a Japanese home spotless without spending your entire Saturday scrubbing floors on your hands and knees. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk about why you might be working way too hard to keep your home clean and what you can do about it starting today. Okay, let's start with the very first habit, and honestly, this one alone could change everything for you. In Japan, there is a sacred space at the entrance of every home called the GENKAN. It's a small entryway, usually just a step or two down from the rest of the house, where you remove your shoes before stepping inside. And this is not optional. This is not a suggestion. This is a non-negotiable rule in Japanese culture. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, I already have a no-shoes rule, let me ask you, do you actually enforce it? Do your kids follow it? Does your husband follow it? Do your guests follow it? Because here's what happens in most American homes. We walk in from outside. We've been at the gas station, the grocery store parking lot, the gym bathroom floor. And we walk all of that, every single germ, every piece of dirt, every chemical residue from the parking lot, straight across our kitchen floors and living room carpets. Studies have actually shown that the bottom of your shoes can carry up to 400,000 bacteria. 400,000. And a good portion of that ends up on your floors, where your kids play, where your baby crawls, where your dog lays down. Japanese homes stay cleaner at their foundation, because the dirt never gets in the first place. How to apply this in your American home? Create your own GENKAN moment. You don't need to renovate your entryway. You just need a system. Place a beautiful shoe rack right inside your front door. Put a small bench or a stool there so guests can sit comfortably to remove their shoes. Keep a basket of cozy slippers near the door, the ones you'll see in so many Japanese homes, so that removing your shoes actually feels like a reward, not a rule. And here's the key, make it visual and make it obvious. If the shoe rack is there, people will use it. If there's nowhere to put shoes, people will keep them on. For families with kids, this is a game changer. Your floors will stay clean for days longer than they used to. Your vacuum sessions will be shorter. Your mopping will be less frequent. And your carpet, if you have carpet, will last years longer because you're not grinding dirt and debris into it every single day. This is habit number 1, and it costs you almost nothing to start. Okay, this next habit is my absolute favorite, and it's the one that I think will make the biggest difference in your day-to-day life. It's called KAIZEN, and it's a Japanese philosophy that means continuous improvement through small steps. It was originally developed as a business concept, but Japanese homemakers have been applying it to housekeeping for generations, and the results are remarkable. Here's the problem with how most of us in America think about cleaning. We think of it as an event. Cleaning day is Saturday. We put it off all week. We let things pile up. And then Saturday comes and suddenly we're spending 4, 5, 6 hours cleaning the entire house, while we're exhausted and resentful and wishing we were literally anywhere else. Sound familiar? Japanese homemakers don't do cleaning days. They do cleaning moments. Tiny, consistent, almost invisible acts of maintenance that happen throughout the day, every day, so that nothing ever reaches the point where it needs a massive intervention. This is Kaizen in practice, and it sounds almost too simple to work, but it does. The 2-minute rule. If a cleaning task takes 2 minutes or less, do it right now. Don't put it off. Don't add it to a list. Don't come back to it later. Do it now. Wipe the stovetop after you cook. 2 minutes. Squeegee the shower door after you shower. 45 seconds. Wipe the bathroom sink after you brush your teeth. 1 minute. Fold the blanket on the couch before you go to bed. 30 seconds. None of these things feel like cleaning, but each of them prevents a much bigger cleaning job later. That stovetop grease that you wipe off in 2 minutes today. If you leave it for a week, it becomes a 30-minute scrubbing project. That shower door you squeegee every morning. You might never need to deep clean it at all. How to apply Kaizen in your American home. Start by identifying your 3 biggest cleaning pain points, the things you hate cleaning the most. For most women I talk to, it's the kitchen, the bathrooms, and the floors. Now for each of those areas, I want you to identify one tiny thing you can do daily to prevent the buildup. Just one thing. Do that one thing every single day for 2 weeks, and then add another one. This is not about being perfect. This is not about turning your home into a museum. This is about making the work lighter. About spreading it out so thin that you barely feel it anymore. Japanese homemakers have known this for centuries. Clean a little, all the time, and you almost never have to clean a lot. Now I want to talk to you about 2 Japanese concepts that sound similar but are actually quite different. And both of them are incredibly powerful for keeping your home clean without losing your mind. The first one is SOJI, which refers to daily cleaning. Short, quick, rhythmic. The kind of cleaning that takes 10 to 15 minutes in the morning and resets your space for the day. In Japan, this practice actually comes from Zen Buddhist tradition, where monks would clean their temples every single morning as a form of meditation and respect for their space. The second one is OSOOJI, which is the deep seasonal cleaning. Think of it like a quarterly reset for your entire home. Japanese families typically do this at the end of the year, in December, as a way to enter the new year with a completely fresh, clean start. Let's talk about SOJI first, because this is the one you can start tomorrow morning. The morning SOJI routine, 15 minutes. In Japanese homes, the morning cleaning routine is almost sacred, and it doesn't have to be long. Here's a simple version you can adapt for your American home. Open the windows for 5 minutes to let fresh air circulate. Japanese people believe stagnant air makes everything feel dirty and heavy. Make your bed immediately after getting up. This one act changes the energy of your entire bedroom. Wipe down the kitchen counters and stovetop. Do a quick sweep or Swiffer of the kitchen and entryway floors. Wipe the bathroom sink. That's it, 15 minutes. Maybe less if you move with intention. But what this does is, it means that your home is reset every single morning. You're not walking out to yesterday's mess. You're not spending the whole day looking at things that need to be done. Your home is clean, and your mind feels lighter because of it. The OSOOJI approach. Seasonal deep cleaning. Instead of panicking every time the holiday season comes, or doing an intense spring cleaning that leaves you destroyed for a week, try scheduling 4 intentional deep cleaning sessions per year, 1 for each season. In each session, you tackle one major area of the house that needs more than your daily 15-minute SOJI: the baseboards, the inside of the oven, the grout in the bathroom, the top of the refrigerator, the items behind the furniture. When you know these things are getting done 4 times a year on a schedule, you stop feeling guilty about them the rest of the time. The anxiety goes away. The overwhelm reduces, because you know it's taken care of. Alright, I want to talk about something that might feel a little uncomfortable, because this habit isn't really about cleaning at all. It's about why you have so much to clean in the first place. The concept is called DANSHARI, and it's a Japanese philosophy of decluttering and letting go. The word itself is made up of 3 kanji characters: Dan, refuse; sha, discard; and greet, separate. Together, it means refusing what you don't need, discarding what you don't use, and separating yourself from the attachment to things. Now, you've probably heard of Marie Kondo, the Japanese organizing consultant who became a global phenomenon. Her KonMari method is rooted in this same philosophy. But DANSHARI goes a little deeper, because it's not just about decluttering once. It's about changing your relationship with stuff forever. Here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. The more things you own, the more time you spend cleaning them, organizing them, moving them around, and feeling guilty about them. That pile of decorative items on your shelf, you have to dust every single one of them. That overflowing closet, every time you open it, you feel stressed. That kitchen counter covered in appliances you use twice a year. It makes the whole kitchen feel harder to clean. Japanese homes are clean partly because they don't have as much stuff. Not because Japanese people don't like things, but because they are very intentional about what they bring into their homes. How to apply DANSHARI in your American life. I'm not going to tell you to throw away everything and live like a monk. That's not realistic, and honestly, it's not necessary. Instead, try this. For 1 month, practice a 1 in 1 out rule. Every time something new comes into your home, a new piece of clothing, a new kitchen gadget, a new decoration, something old has to leave. This one habit alone will prevent your home from becoming more cluttered over time. Second, do what I call a GOLT shelf audit. Walk through your home and identify the things you feel guilty about every time you look at them. The exercise equipment you don't use. The craft supplies from a hobby you gave up 2 years ago. The good dishes you never take out. These items are not just taking up space. They're taking up mental energy. Every time you see them, they drain you just a little bit. When your home has less, you clean less. It's that simple. And that is a very Japanese understanding of what a clean home actually means. Okay, now let's get into the actual room-by-room tactics, because I know some of you are here specifically for the practical stuff. Let's talk about the 2 rooms that cause the most cleaning stress for most American women: the bathroom and the kitchen. Japanese bathroom habits. In Japan, the bathroom is actually separated into different rooms. The toilet is often in its own tiny room, completely separate from the bath and shower area. And the bathtub area is designed to get completely wet. It has a drain on the floor, so everything can be rinsed down. We can't necessarily rebuild our bathrooms, but we can adopt their habits. Habit 1. The after-shower wipe down. Every single time you shower, take your squeegee, a small handheld one, costs like $5 at Target, and run it across your shower walls and glass door. Then take a small microfiber cloth and wipe the faucet and handles dry. This prevents 90% of the soap scum and hard water deposits that make bathroom deep cleans so miserable. I'm not exaggerating. This one tiny habit means you might only need to truly deep clean your shower once a month instead of every single week. Habit 2. The toilet brush habit. In many Japanese homes, there is a small cleaning brush right next to the toilet, and it gets used lightly every single day, or at least every other day. Not a big scrubbing session. Just a quick 30-second swipe around the bowl after use, when needed. When you do this consistently, your toilet never gets to the point where it needs intense chemical intervention. It just stays clean. Japanese kitchen habits. The Japanese kitchen philosophy centers around one idea: clean as you go. This sounds obvious, but the level of commitment that Japanese homemakers bring to it is next level. While something is simmering on the stove, they're wiping the counter. While waiting for water to boil, they're putting away ingredients. The kitchen is never left messy at the end of cooking, because the cleaning is woven into the cooking itself. The Japanese dish drying method. In Japan, many kitchens have a dish drying rack positioned directly above the sink, with a drainage system that drips back into the sink. This means dishes are dried and put away in a completely streamlined way with zero counter clutter from a drying rack taking up precious space. If you can't install something like this, at least adopt the habit of putting your dishes away as soon as they're dry, rather than leaving them on the rack for days and then having to move the rack every time you need the counter. The greasy stovetop solution. Japanese women often place a thin silicone mat or use aluminum foil on the edges of their stovetops to catch grease splatter. At the end of cooking, they simply remove it and replace it. The stovetop itself stays almost perfectly clean. You can do this too. Dollar Tree has foil liners for stove drip pans. A roll of aluminum foil around the edge of your burners. Change it every week or every time it gets dirty. Problem solved. We've covered a lot today, and I want to wrap up by talking about the most important habit of all, because none of the physical stuff matters if your mindset about cleaning stays the same. In Japan, there is a cultural understanding that your environment reflects your inner state. A clean home is not about impressing your neighbors or your mother-in-law. It's about respecting your own life. It's about creating a space that supports you, that calms you, that makes you feel good when you walk in the door. American culture often treats cleaning as a chore, something to be dreaded, avoided, and complained about. Japanese culture treats it as a practice, something you do with intention, something that actually gives you energy rather than taking it away. And I think that shift, that tiny mental shift, is what makes all the difference. When you wipe down your kitchen counter in the morning, you're not doing a chore. You're setting the tone for your day. You're telling yourself that your home matters, that your comfort matters, that you matter. When you take your shoes off at the door, you're not being fussy. You're creating a boundary between the outside world and your sanctuary. When you let go of the things that are cluttering your space, you're not losing something. You're making room for the life you actually want to live. Your homework starting today. Number 1. Set up your GENKAN. Get a shoe rack for the front door this week. Number 2. Identify your 3 biggest cleaning pain points and pick one tiny daily habit to address each one. Number 3. Do a 15-minute morning reset tomorrow. Just 15 minutes. See how different your whole day feels. Number 4. Walk through your home and identify 5 things you can let go of this week. And number 5, the next time you wipe down a counter or rinse a dish, do it with intention. Do it like it matters. Because it does. You don't need to clean more. You need to clean smarter. And the Japanese figured that out a very long time ago. Thank you so much for being here today. If this helped you, subscribe and share it with someone you think needs it. I will see you in the next one.